Well, hello everyone. In last week's video, I introduced you to the Photographer's Ephemeris, which is a free piece of software that you can Google and download. I've got the link listed down below in the show notes. And I went over a show on how I go about plotting my moons. And I want to add that the Photographer's Ephemeris will work for moonrises, moonsets. It'll work for sunrises, sunsets. It'll work for plotting the Milky Way. It'll do almost everything you need to do to get out and plot whatever it is you want to plot out in the real world. I had mentioned about that we rarely, the thing with moonrises or moons in general and suns in general, rises and sets for both, is that they are listed for a flat horizon, okay? Rarely, if ever, are we standing on a flat horizon. I'm going to show you today 3 examples of where I'm at some elevation, shooting out towards some elevation, and I got to know precisely when I'm going to see that moon, not when it rises or sets. It's got to be from my vantage point, okay? So if you check this video link up above me here, I would recommend you watching that before you watch this video, unless you're very proficient already in working the Photographer's Ephemeris. This is really the last key piece of information we need to know to really dial things in and know when and where we're going to see that moon. Before we get started, I would like to direct your attention to my website, and that's the URL is listed here, and I've got it listed down below. But what I want to direct you over to is when you come to my homepage, not only will you get this scrolling slideshow, but you're going to get all these links. And for example, here is a link for my processing course. Just came out about 2-3 months ago. We're getting a lot of great feedback on that. My portfolios, I won't go through everything here. You just click on one of those thumbnails and see what I've got listed. Those of you who have been watching me may be interested in my workshops. You see I've only got 4 right now. Actually, 2 of them are in Iceland. And I've kind of taken a little bit of a break from workshops while I'm trying to get this and some other projects up and running. But stay tuned, because we've got different workshops in mind that we may be adding. Here's my YouTube page. You probably landed on that, obviously, if you're watching this video. But it's all linked right here. Takes you to my, I'm an ambassador for Sony, takes you to my Getty Images site. There's a little bio about me, my gear I use, some podcasts I've been on, my social media accounts. So almost everything, well, not almost, it is everything that makes up Don Smith Photography. I even wanted to come up here and mention my books and my blog, which I put out every couple of weeks. So that's where you come to find everything out about me. And now let's get moving with this video, and I'm going to give you 3 examples here today of plotting from elevation rise where I'm standing up to where I think the moon's coming. This first one, and we can go over just some of the, everybody wants to know what my settings are, as if that's really important, but I guess sometimes it is. This is from the western side of Pinnacles National Park in California. The western side you have to access off Highway 101 in Soledad, and you go all the way out, I believe it's 146, until you hit a parking lot and you're at the base looking up at these high peaks. This was captured with a 400 millimeter lens. And here's one in Yosemite with Half Dome. I'm actually standing on Sentinel Bridge, and we'll go over this one. And then this is just kind of a cool one. Most people don't understand if you shoot infrared black and white, this is with a 720 nanometer camera, that you can actually get moonshots during the daytime because the blue skies turn black. How did I get this in color? I colorized it in Photoshop under the neural filters. So I threw quite a twist in there, which is a play on words to tell you about this twisty, I believe it's a live oak tree. So let's get started. We're going to jump into the Photographer's Ephemeris, And I'm going to give you the dates that I shot these on, and we're going to go back and I'm going to show you how I plotted each one of these. Okay, let's start with how I captured this rising moon right next to Half Dome. And this was actually shot with my 400-2.8 Sony with a 2x converter. And I shot it at an aperture of f11. It was quite a ways away. I didn't need to go all the way to 16th. 1/40th of a second at ISO 200. And let's come on over here to the photographer's ephemeris. And I already had this location saved. So where I dropped the red pin, and for a review, if you look up here to the right, this is your primary pin. That's showing you where you're standing, and I put it right over, excuse me, right there. I can move it over just a hair more. Right over, nope, I was on the right spot, Sentinel Bridge. So I'm just going to plop it right down here in the middle. I'm still having this little bit of a problem that we had last week. I don't know why this is so touchy, but I'm going to leave it alone, close enough to the bridge. Okay, I'm going to drop this down using the plus and minus buttons now today. So I'm going to back out, and this is the top of Half Dome right here. Here's where the moon's going to start rising. So I've already looked up the metadata on all three of these pictures, and I captured this picture back on November 29th, 2020. So I'm going to come up here to the top left, and I've already got November 2020 plugged in when I was rehearsing this. So I'm right on the day that I calculated this moonrise. And so remember, we talked about the colors correspond to what's down here. So moonrises are always this lighter blue color. And the moon, as we're looking at it in the northern hemisphere, is always going to rotate to the right of how we're looking. If we're in the southern hemisphere, it'll go to the left of the start line. I call the light blue the start line. So I want to know when I'm going to be able to see the moon. So let's come up here and check. The moonrise starts at 4:27. So I'm going to pull this out until I get to 4:28, close enough. Do I have sunset still on Half Dome on a clear day, which it was? I should, because it's 4:39 is sunset. Now here's the key. As I tug this, and I want to repeat that you have to pay for the Pro version to get this, but come on, it's $9.99 for the entire year. And you can't calculate these things without this. So yes, my answer is an definite yes, you need the Pro version. If you notice right in the middle, there's the blue representing the moon. And right here, there's a number grayed out. This is telling us the degrees that it's going to be before we can see it at where we're standing. And how do I know where that is? Well, I have to click here on this gray button here. And I'm going to bring this over. And I'm going to put it kind of to the left of Half Dome here, because this is sort of the gap we're going to see it in, okay? And you can move this along. And remember, you come over here to the left, this is all review. It's in the first video. This is your topo. I could go, well, it's not going to give me the image view on that for whatever reason, but normally it will. And I'm just going to tug along this blue timeline on the bottom until I see this number turn black. So let's tug along, and right there, I'm going to back it off, that's 4:35. So 4:35, 4:36, now I can drop this pin definitively on something that's elevation, and probably it would be back in here. And it's showing me right there. I won't see it. Well, I don't think I'm going to be in line with that. So I'm going to, this gets to be the kind of the temperamental part of it. You just have to play with this line. And let's bring it up. And yeah, so I will see it roughly at 4:46. And what did we say sunset was well, that won't work because 4:39. So I have to bring this online here on the line that I moved, and now that's the reason. Okay, so 4:39 is when we're going to see it from my position as I'm looking at Half Dome, and it's going to come up to the left side of Half Dome. Let's go back here and take a look, and there it is. I actually saw it. It came right up over the top here and is moving in this direction, and will move right up and out because remember, it's moving to the right of what we see from our position. Okay, let's go to our next one, Moonrise over Oak. Oops, excuse me. So that's going to be this one. Remember, I captured this one in infrared and colored it in using one of the new neural filters called Colorize in Photoshop. Okay, let's come back to, I got too many things open here, gang. Okay, I've got this one saved. So I'm going to come over here to Locations. And this is a thing called Quien Sabe Ranch Road. It's located in San Benito County, California. And I'm going to hit the go button. And you can see now I'm going to have to bring that up quite a bit. So I'm not going to try to use the wheel because I think that's what was messing us up last video. But I've gone ahead and I've already, through practice, dropped, now I've lost my pin, so I am going to have to come down. Where am I here? There we go. I'm going to center that, and we will bring it up and keep centering. As you bring it up, keep centering. And so where that tree is located is somewhere right along this ridge line. And I went back and checked the metadata in my camera, which I am terrible at keeping up on. But I really have to if I'm going to do these types of videos, and it's just good to have this information. I captured this at around 1:56 in the afternoon. So I'm going to back this down, and we're going to come along here to I went past it, didn't I? There's 1:55. Call it good enough. The moon started rising. Well, let's see, oh, I forgot to change the date, didn't I? Okay, good. I'm glad I'm making these mistakes because you will too. So this was in 2021. This was February 22nd. Now let's check that moonrise. It started rising at 1:11. Okay, that makes more sense. All right. Obviously the sun's out at that time of day. We don't have to check on that. So here, the blue line is the moonrise line, but you're going to see it's moving to the right. So here is the line, and we do have a dark number up here, so that means I can see it. Let's back it off to where I couldn't see it, and that would have been right about there, 1:11. So I knew that I would have to wait till at least about 1:11, 1:12, 1:13 in the afternoon to see it. You can see it's a 78.5% moon. Let's go back and take a peek at that to see if that confirms. Yeah, it's not quite a full moon. I'd call it a 3/4 moon. And so everything's going good. Now I could, and I did, remember walking up and down this road to kind of, as it got over the top of that tree, remember, when at 1:14 is just when I'm going to see it rise over this ridge. But I've got to let it rise a little more to get up and over that oak tree. So let's pull this out and go to around 1:56. And now you can see that moon has indeed, I believe the tree is right along in here where I'm circling my little icon here. So now you can see the highest elevation up there on that line is 2,080 feet. It's moving to the right, and I could actually reset it if I move to the left. I hope that makes sense, because it's still got to go up over 2120. But at around 1:56, that was good enough for me. I changed my location. I got the moon up over the oak, which is what I wanted to do. I knew that having the 720 nanometer infrared would turn that sky blue. and it did it. Okay, let's go to one more here. So let's go back to Lightroom, and we've done that one here. This one in Pinnacles, and this was a tricky one. Now, the metadata on this one showed me that this was shot in 2012. And if you remember last week, I told you I didn't know how far back this calendar went, but we're going to find out. And indeed, I can get back to 2012. And it was on July 31st. And I'm going to click there. Okay, so now I have to get over to Pinnacles, right? So I'm going to go to Locations, and I'm going to come down here to where it says Pinnacles National Park West, because I'm on the west side of it. Weird thing about Pinnacles National Park, if you ever come out, there is an eastern side that you enter if you're coming down from the Bay Area. You come down through, all the way down through Hollister on Highway 25 and continue out, and Highway 25 will take you to the Pinnacles, but that's the east side only. And so that would be a moonset type of shot, and I can tell you, because I've worked the numbers, you're only going to see that in about whenever the moonset is for September, because that's when it's in line with the high peaks. Okay, I'll save you the trouble of that. I wanted to see when it was going to come up and over those peaks from the west side, so that's a moon rising. So I'm going to click on this red go button, and now you can see I'm south of Salinas off of 101. Here's the little town of Soledad, and I'm on 146, and if I follow that all the way up, it takes me up into this circular parking lot here. And let's go back and see. This may actually, well, let's see when sunset is. Yes, the moonrise was starting at 7:04. Sunset that evening was 8:10 p.m. And I want to show you something, because this is so hard to plot. Down in my notes, I actually saved a note here that says, Pinnacle West, the full moon. You want to shoot on a day as close to 2 hours rise time before sunset as you can find. So this isn't close to 2 hours. This is going to be pretty darn close on rise time. And but I did see it rise, in 2018, excuse me, an hour and a half. There, you at least got to see the picture again before. So this is a tough one, because up in here, this is the High Peaks Trail. I'm on the west side looking up, not the east side, which would be back in here. And these are where all the high peaks reside, up in here. Let's see if the topo will paint this time. Yes, it does. Let's see if I can bring those up. It doesn't really show it too well, but that you just have to know is where the high peaks are, up in there. And you could do it if you've never been there before by locating it on this topo map, because I like the topo map when I'm figuring things out, because it's always giving me the elevations. So when I start to kind of figure it out, then I know what elevation I have to start looking for. So let's see, indeed, and let's see if I had the actual camera date set correctly. I remember I told you sometimes I don't. If not, we'll back it up a day. I tend to forget to reset it during daylight savings times and when we set the clocks back. So if so, it would mean I would be an hour or a day prior, which might make sense. But let's see. No, actually from here, I would start seeing the moon, and right about where I was seeing it at 1% at 7:05, and sunset was 8:10. So yeah, this was indeed the date, and I had to just kind of fudge that and wait. What was tough about the photographer's ephemeris, as you can see, it doesn't give the elevation of all these peaks. And let me get back to the picture. These peaks go on quite some time back to the right of this and to the left of this, and they're all at various heights. So it's tough to pinpoint it. But this really ballparks it for me. This is a gray pine, and I actually threw a 2x converter and got that right in behind that gray pine, which I liked. So this is just, oops, excuse me, let me go back. This is just as the moon is starting to peek out from behind that spire. All of these are called Spires up in here. It's a really cool park. If you happen to live in California or you're coming out this way to visit, throw that one on your agenda. And be in good walking shape because you're going to go up in elevation to get up in here. So that's how we go about calculating when we will actually see the moon from the elevation we're standing at up to the elevation where we want to see the moon come up and over. Without that little piece of information, I think it would make it very difficult for you to just plan, because once again, and I'll say this for the umpteenth time, moon rises, moon sets, sunrises, and sunsets are all plotted from zero elevation, 0 degrees, okay, basically sea level. And rarely are all of us standing at sea level. So that's how it's done, and I hope this has helped you out. And plot your June moon. I was telling you about this last week. And start thinking about a location you would like to see it from, then jump on over to the photographer's ephemeris and see if you will actually see it. This will, in June, be the furthest south the moon will be, and the sun will be at its furthest northern point. And then June 20th, 21st, they will start reversing track all the way out to winter solstice, which will be December 2021. Okay, so hope this information helped you. Get out there, stay creative. It's great for the soul. We'll see you next time.